Nobody has the right to come up and kill a 16-year-old just because they feel like it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel, or back to my channel if you are a returning viewer. I hope y'all having a good day with positive vibes. Only if you can't be around nobody that got positive vibes, make sure that you have positive vibes, okay? So I would say that this would be another episode of Call 'Em Out, but it's too soon, right? I just did Vivica Fox, which I feel really good about. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure that you do. It will be in the description, and also if you make it to the end of this video, it will be a clickable situation where you can go from this one to that one. So let's get into what today is about. It's coming up on a week ago. A 16-year-old up-and-coming rapper from Southeast DC was tragically shot and killed on the morning of Thursday, May 26th. I did plan on just making a video about that, but I seen something from another YouTuber did that I must call attention to. And I'm not gonna lie, this video that I'm speaking on, it really rubbed me the wrong way. So before we talk about the specific YouTuber and the video that they uploaded, let's talk about 23 Rackz. So this 16-year-old was a up-and-coming rapper. If you are in the younger generation, I may come across your music, but I've never heard of his music or him. You know what I'm saying? That's quite a younger demographic than what I listen to. Not saying that his music isn't good, or people that are younger than me, music isn't good. I just don't normally gravitate to it. But from what I gauge from 23 Rackz is he is from Savanna Terrace Southeast. Mainly over that way is apartment buildings. And he was from the 2300 block, which makes sense with his name. Looking at this young boy, to me, he don't look 16, you know? And I think that relates to how fast people mature in places like DC, and especially DC. It's a lot of young people walking around that you wouldn't think is that young. You know what I'm saying? From the tattoos, or just from the overall demeanor, or what they getting themselves into, you know? I think that as the generations come up, you see that, like, how we looked when we was 12, we look 12. It's a lot of 12-year-olds now that look 16. 16-year-olds that look like they in their 20s. And that's due to what we've been through, what we didn't want to go through but had to endure, and what we put ourselves through. So in this young man's last hours or so, it was morning, he was sitting outside. He uploaded a quick clip on his story of him sitting outside, just enjoying the morning. Shortly after that, that clip was uploaded to his story. Shots began to ring out, hitting and killing 16-year-old 23 Rackz. When I said what we put ourselves through, I wasn't talking about us sitting outside like we have the right to do, us enjoying the weather, what have you. What I'm talking about is jumping into the rap game very early when we see what it costs people. It's starting to not only cost people their lives, it's starting to put people away for a very long time. The rap game comes with too much already. So being as young, being under 18 and jumping into a game that is very dangerous, To me, it's not worth it. Even though it may come with a cash flow, it may come with you being able to provide for your family like you've never been able to. You can't do normal things anymore. And you can't have a free mindset. One thing that rubbed me the wrong way when watching this YouTuber Rackz Legends TV, it was almost like he was blaming this 16-year-old for being outside, for enjoying the weather. Like anybody is supposed to have the right to, right? But you negate to mention that nobody has the right to come up shooting and killing a 16-year-old. Nobody has the right to do that. Nobody has the right to come up and kill a 16-year-old just because they feel like it. Nobody should have the right to act as the Grim Reaper. Nobody. But we as the Black community, we fail to mention that. But we gonna say every single way that the victim went wrong. Let's just say that clip wasn't uploaded to his story. The same thing could have still happened. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's keeping tabs on you for real. This is how DC is, but we're gonna go down a list of things where this YouTuber went wrong because he don't even know who he talking about, right? In his video, one of the first things he said was 23 Rackz from Chicago.
We got another fallen Rackz member.
Just because you upload a lot of Chicago content doesn't mean you get confused of who you talking about and where they from. The problem that I be having with YouTubers is it gets lazy when you just reading off an article, you saying a few words on how you feel about it, and then you leave it at that. That's a 2-minute, 3-minute video. I don't know what that does and how profitable that is. Just creating 3-minute videos, I'm not used to that. And in that aspect, it's lazy too, because it's a lot that you can say about this scenario. It's a lot that you could have researched about this. And being from a different place and talking about DC, it's certain things that you do need to research to understand. Chicago and DC, I mean, we a lot alike in the most ignorant ways. The killing, the violence, the dissing, the drill music, all of it is starting to collide, and a lot of it is similar. But we are different, right? And even though we are different, as a whole society and as a whole generation, it's certain lessons that need to be said. It's certain things that definitely need to be said. You can't just cover something very briefly and not really speak your piece on it. Because whether you know it or not, your channel and your voice can help somebody, you know, can shed some light. I mean, I've already stated that with certain YouTube channels and YouTubers, I do have a certain issue or problem with people that create content and they use their voice but don't show their face. I think it's very safe to do. It's a very safe and scary way to go about doing YouTube. I think that in order to really connect with your audience, you got to do more than 3-minute videos and not showing your face. I like to put a face to the voice, you know what I'm saying? I even commented on this YouTube video, and I basically said, like, out of respect of the dead, you should at least redo this video. you know? Like a lot of people were saying, you gotta delete this, delete this. I'm gonna give you a better option and redo the video. Literally. Redo the video and say where he's actually from, because a lot of people have watched your video and you getting people confused. People that's not even from Chicago or DC. You getting them confused on where this young man is really from and how they can really, connect or relate to this scenario. It definitely hits harder when the victims become younger and younger. And I think that this is when parents definitely have to step it up as far as their teenagers are concerned, because around this time you want them to be building actual skills that they can use when they are in their 20s, when they make it to that age. You want them to really be gaining knowledge that will help them survive. With me, it's very shocking how young people are smoking weed and drinking and what have you, having tattoos. I mean, the tattoo trend, it did start at a very young age, but I don't have any because I don't go with trends. I've never been like that. The same with smoking weed. I didn't smoke weed in high school either. I think that if I did smoke weed, and me and my sister talk about this, if I smoked weed in high school, I probably would have got held back. I probably would have had to go to summer school more than once. I probably wouldn't have graduated on time. Like, you can't lie and say weed don't slow you down. And I can't imagine smoking at a young age. Like, my little brother started smoking before me, when he was in high school, and I didn't like it. And I told him every chance I got that I didn't like it. And I made sure that he was staying focused on his schooling, When you young and off weed, like, I remember laughing so much when I first started smoking weed, and just like being in a totally different mindset, because you young, you off that, and you even more careless than you would be normally, It sucks that we as people from DC and places like it, we gotta think so much about our safety that it honestly blows our fun sometimes. But that's what we have to do. We really have to stay on point. No matter how young or how old, we gotta stay on point. We seeing that now. And honestly, the only thing that we probably can learn to do, as far as Tekashi 6ix9ine is concerned, is if you uploading anything with a location or a landmark that people can see and what have you, do it after you leave. That's the only thing I'll say. If that's something that you want to do, like, do it after you leave, and y'all gonna have to start having some type of structure on, okay, nobody go live right now. Let's just enjoy our time. Whoop-de-whoop, because people can come shooting anyway. But us publicizing where we are, who we with, and things like that can get everybody hurt. And that's a better way to say what Chirac Legend TV said, What I'm not going to do is sit up and blame a 16-year-old for doing 16-year-old shit. Unfortunately, he was in a really dangerous field, And being that young, more than ever, the youth, they need to be taught how to move, And honestly, a lot of them didn't grow up in the roughest position as, say, me or you. So their experience can't teach them how to move. They need better OGs. They need better people that's checking up on them. Like, come on now. Just as many of y'all that will pull up and smoke with a 16-year-old, y'all should be giving them game on how to move. If y'all have made it to a certain age that's triple his or even 10 times his, plus 10, you need to be teaching him how to move, showing him how to move. And honestly, when we was that age, what we was smoking, if you was smoking, you was smoking Reggie. At 14, 15, 16, you was handling Reggie, smoking Reggie, all that. So being off Reggie and maneuvering versus being off of this designer weed and this rapper strong ass weed that they got now, it's totally different. We gotta be on point, and we gotta teach our little ones how to move, how to be on point and stay on point. A lot of us walk around very tense because we feel like we have to survive. And when I'm out and I'm going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. I don't lollygag. I don't sit around. I can't stand around. And honestly, a lot of that is the culture of DC. How many of your uncles, your friend, your parents' friends, and what have you, then sat around smoking, drinking, and it may be a good time. It may start off a good time. It may end a good time. But to do that day after day after day, it becomes more of a habit, more of a addiction than anything. A addiction to stand around, a addiction to always be around people, a addiction to constantly smoking and drinking, no matter if it's early or what have you. We got to get out of that. We got to get out of standing around. You got to have somewhere to go. And go there. Go to that place. And I promise you, your lifespan will be much longer and much greater. It's much more to life than standing on a block. It's much more to life, and I want every single young person to know that. And honestly, it's much more than your neighborhood. Be smart about your rap name. Don't put the hood in that. Somebody from your hood could be responsible for your death. Don't put your hood in your name. Don't keep mentioning a hood that you from in your music. People gonna know where you from. People gonna know. It's all in how you handle yourself, how you move, the respect you show, and the respect that you give. People gonna know where you from. Born and raised in Southeast. Southeast is the most important. Not the neighborhood that you come from in Southeast. It's a lot of talented people from Southeast DC. A lot of people that I can mention that's not here no more. That no longer have a voice. And whether they was rapping or in the streets or innocent bystander, it's all a shame. And none of them should be blamed for going about their regular lives. So that's what I hugely have a problem with. We shouldn't be blamed for coming from a dangerous place. I don't want to push blame on nobody, but I can. Our elders have to do better. As a parent myself, like the biggest lesson of all from this is, like a lot of people tell you that your child's younger years are the most important, and that's true. That's very true. But every single year, especially once they turn into teenagers, is very, very important. Don't let go of the leash that you have, the leash of control. the leash of structure. You should always be teaching them how to move. And put your foot down. Put your foot down and have them building towards an actual future and career. Rapping is all good and dandy. Once you have something, you got to have a plan A first. Rap got to be secondary or something like that. You got to have a career because you need something to fall back on if rap don't work. If rap don't work, or it costs you too much jail time, or too much recovery from getting shot or what have you. If it come with too much and you don't want to do it no more, you got to have something to fall back on. I would say that do your rapping after 18 or 21. And that's good. That's enough time after you've graduated from high school to really build something for yourself. Build some actual skills. Stay out the way. Get through certain experiences in life that will help you in your rapping. That will help you with more content and more lyrics that's not dissing, and that gives you some variety. And honestly, with YouTubers like this one that I just mentioned, y'all gotta do better with research. I'm not right all the time. I don't have every single answer for everything. Sometimes I am completely speechless when it comes to certain scenarios. But it's still a lot to say. It's still a lot to say. It's still a game that needs to be dropped. You gotta do better research. And if you mess up really bad, you gotta delete it. Or if not delete it, redo it. So perhaps you can get some of that respect that you lost. It's not all about views, likes, engagement, and things to that nature when you're wrong. It can't be about that. Because from a 2,000, 3,000 view video, you only get about what? $14 or so? Let's really be real. Is it worth that if you're wrong? No, it's not. You gotta do YouTube and do journalism for more than that. And that's where I'll leave it. It's your girl B Octavia, and I will see y'all in my next video. Leave y'all thoughts in the comments below. Like this video, share it, and I'll see y'all.